Investigating the detrimental impact of disposable syringes and converting them into biodegradable syringes. Our world is so digitalized, but deep inside we are facing some issues which is called pollution. Pollution is majorly caused by the wastes that is thrown into the environment. One such waste is the syringes that is used in hospitals and thrown into the environment. So our initiative is to produce a syringe that would be biodegradable and even helpful for organisms for the consumption. Here the components used are the tapioca starch, vinegar, glycerin and tap water. The reason for taking a tapioca starch is that its tensile property. The tensile property of a tapioca starch is more than the tensile property of a polypropylene, which is majorly used for the manufacturing of syringes. For the manufacturing of syringes, the ratio should be perfectly seen. So the tapioca starch is taken 25 gram, for which 120 ml of water is used for its manufacturing. Tapioca starch has the property like rigid, flexible, and it has even more water resistant and chemical resistant. The reason for using a tapioca starch is that it contains high water resistant and chemical resistant, and that is not even toxic to any organisms that consumes the tapioca starch. Tap water is used in this project because tap water helps to loosen up the polymers which is present in the tapioca starch. For 25 gram of tapioca starch, 150 ml of tap water is used. Here the tapioca starch is mixed with the water, which is the initial step for this project. This project is mainly initiated to save the organisms and the living organisms that is sent roadside, which consumes the plastic that is thrown into the environment. So if our project succeeds, if the plastic is even thrown in the environment, the organism which consumes this biodegradable plastic will not have any harmful substances inside their body, and it provides a very good food for the organisms. So to continue with the process, the tapioca starch is then mixed with the tap water. Stirring of the solution helps to break down the polymers which is present in the tapioca starch, and it even helps for the complete mixture of the tapioca starch and the tap water. Next thing used in our project is glycerin. Glycerin has a special tendency that it can be used to make the plastic more flexible. So the more flexibility we can mold into any shape. For 25 grams of tapioca starch, we make 5 ml of glycerin which is to be dissolved in the solution. Stirring of mixture helps it to dissolve more completely into the solution, and it is able to make the plastic more stronger. The final biodegradable plastic that we made only consists of tap water, tapioca starch, glycerin and vinegar, in which these that does not produce any harmful to the human beings as well as the living organisms that is present in the soil, as well as when it is thrown into the marine, the sea fishes or the sea organisms can consume it, and it does not produce any harmful things to the organisms. The next component used in this project is vinegar. The tendency of a vinegar is to make the plastic more rigid. The plastic which is used for manufacturing of syringes should be strong, as we have earlier said that it should have the tensile property higher than the polypropylene which is used for manufacturing of normal disposable syringes. Adding all these into a mixture and stir them into that is completely disposable into the solution. And finally, the project ends by heating the solution. While heating the solution, stir the mixture completely so as it does not get any lumps in the solution, so that the plastic would be completely plain and as of our desired shape. The temperature at which the plastic is to be made is to be continuously noted down so as to get a last but not least, the last step of the project is completely stirring of the solution and cooling down to make it as a desired shape. So the solution is completely cooling down and it is transferred into the mold to get the desired shape of the project. So finally, our project aims only on the reducing the wastes that is disposed in the environment and to make organisms survive more than they are usual years. So, as we are focusing more into the technical problems and we are not facing problems like the pollution which causes danger to the earth and causes the global warming. So here is an initiative to stop global warming and to reduce the amount of plastics used. I hereby assure that these components used in the project does not harm the human beings as well as the living organisms and even the marine organisms when the disposable syringes are thrown into the seawater.